Hi, welcome to this video about whether you're thinking of buying a Shogun. Me and Chris bought a Shogun about 2.5 years ago. We're brand new to GreenLane and we've learned quite a lot since. And this shows you some of the things we've been up to over the last 2.5 years with some of our friends. Series of videos. So this first one is a friend of ours in Discovery D2, and he's going down a famous hill at Horseshoe Lane is the proper name of it. Everybody tends to call it Bastard Lane. As you can see, it's really steep hill. We've built some rocks up at the bottom just to help with our approach and our departure angle from the two. So as you can see, so this is recognised as a very good vehicle, the old Discoveries. So as he's going down, and the reason I'm putting these in so you can then compare it with what the Shogun manages to do. So there he is. He did have one slight disadvantage on his vehicle, which is he has a little tow bar on the back. As you can see, he's now effectively completely beached with a tow bar, and in the end it took us about 20 minutes. We had to get a car in front of him and tow him out from the front because he couldn't go anywhere with it. So that's how the Discovery D2 got on, and then in a minute I will then show you how the Shogun got on exactly the same hill. So this is a Shogun doing the same hill. Chris is driving. Now this is the first time he's ever driven anything like this. It was our first trip to Wales with some friends, so he's a real novice beginner driver there. And it is actually, when you're in the car, that does look really steep, even from where I've stood. That car is a good 6-7 foot up in the air from my feet. But obviously it was much worse when he sat up there, and he's never done anything like this before. So therefore didn't quite know how it would go. So he's taking it quite wisely, slowly, with some instruction. So down he goes, bit by bit, very gently. We've learnt since then, actually, sometimes when you're on steep hills like this is an automatic car, and sometimes on steep hills it's worth actually putting into neutral, because the D actually is pushing it forward other times. It's almost pushing against the brakes. That's something we've learnt as we've gone on. But here in the very early ones he was obviously on D. So down he comes again, going over the same stones as the Discovery did, and he just misses the front there with approach angle. And we actually have a tow bar on the back of this as well at this stage. Up it goes and away it goes. So as you can see, the Shogun actually performed very well on that. So this is another of the quite famous places in Wales. This is Strata, Florida, for those who might recognise it. And this is the one they called the Bomb Hole. So here again, it's on the same day as the other one. So Chris is driving up towards it, never having done this before. And again, it looks very steep in front of you here. And up he goes. And you see how steep that is there. And so he doesn't have to use momentum. He just uses the brilliant traction control on the car, and he gets up there no problems. So that's that one. So this is a friend of ours in a Discovery, I think it's a Discovery 4. So this is up Femlington Edge, up in the Yorkshire area, Yorkshire Dales. And he's got his suspension set to the highest bit here as he's going up here. And he's managing it, but I just wanted to show you that as he gets to this bit, you'll see that as the wheel goes down, the struggle that it does to get up there. And yes, it really just got really high to do that. And then the back one struggles quite a bit as well to get over there. So that's how a Disco 4 did that. So this is Chris doing the same thing. This is more recent, so he was on the same day as the other one, but as it being more recent, Chris had a bit of experience by here. Clearly I haven't experienced much with the camera, because that's my finger you can see there. I've now learned to actually hold the camera the other way around, so I don't do that. But I wanted to show you that this is Chris going up the same hill with the same bits coming in, and this is how the Shogun manages. So yes, the front leg does cock as well, but actually there's no spin of the wheels whatsoever, either the front or the back. So that's how the Shogun did that. Now this is a really good vehicle. This is a patrol, and these are triple locked, these are. But this was a very steep and slippy hill, which I know the camera never shows everything, as bad as it is on the ground. But as you can see, as he's going up the hill there, he gets to a stage, he gets stuck, and he has to come back a bit. Sorry, this is my very poor camera work, because I was trying to walk up the hill at the same time. should have just stood still. So having reversed back and he putting some power on, he gets to go further up the hill. And that's a triple lock. That means the centre lock, the rear diff and the front diff have all been locked on that vehicle as he goes up. And again, he's making it. He does make it to the top. So this is actually me driving the Shogun. This was the day Chris couldn't make it, and I've only ever driven them four-wheel drive about 3 times in my life. So so when I saw this hill, I thought, oh crikey. But so it's a friend that's filming it for us. It's going up the same hill. And we don't have mud tyres on this at all. These are just all terrains, and mud tyres would actually help a lot more, but as you can see, it makes it without having to reverse back or go into there. I've added this in because when I mentioned about mud tyres, and on this one I've actually left the volume in for us, you can hear. So this is one of our other friends when we're in another part of Wales, in his Defender this time, and it's a bit long as a video, but I wanted to show you from the beginning to show you just how muddy it is. You see, it's really, really muddy there, and that mud is very, very sticky and also slippy. So he starts driving nice and sensibly, taking his time, not going too fast through it.
It's just surface mud.
And everybody else is behind, so he's the first to do it of the day.
He ain't changing his gear, is he?
So as he's going,
yeah,
you can see he's getting pushed a bit around there. Gets stuck down in there. Struggling now, really starting to struggle. Really starting to struggle now, as you can see. And in the end, he slips sides. And actually, this never got out of there. It needed a group of about 6 men to push him with tracks and everything else to get him out. And it was a good 20 minutes. I didn't film that. Well, this is Chris. He was out himself on this day in the Shogun doing the same thing, and he was the second car to go. Yeah. So he was just seeing that, and you might be able to hear the guys saying on
heavy right foot there, Chris,
on the video that he thinks he should be going a lot faster than this. They were suggesting to him that momentum is the key on this, but Chris can't hear them obviously because he's in the car, so he's just going his own peaceful little way, nice and slow and steady as he goes. But the much more experienced drivers behind are really starting to say he's got to send it. He's got to send it. And go much quicker, put his right foot down.
Fair play.
Yeah, you can hear them saying send it.
Wow,
it keeps going at that pace. And it's still going. And don't forget, this is not mud tyres. There's no mud tyres in this car whatsoever. They're just all terrains.
Fair play.
It gets to the end. It's all the way out without any help whatsoever. So I just wanted to show you those things to show you that actually, if you are thinking,
but he got sent left, didn't he?
It can keep going with all the others. Now this here is a little video of what can go wrong with the Shogun. So this is from Redriven.
Pajeros. There's got to be something wrong with them because they're heaps cheaper than their competitors, right? Well, no, wrong. They're actually super reliable. They're not mechanically perfect, but they're pretty bloody good.
So as you can see, Shoguns are quite reliable according to the mechanics. I just wanted to show you this one last final clip. This is of Chris again in the early days when we were up in Wales at Happy Valley. I'm going into a bit of a ditch there, and I was meant to be spotting, but I was a novice myself and didn't quite know where to steer him. So you can see how high up this wheel gets. That's the articulation or lack of it in the car. But look how the traction control stops those things happening, and he ends up going into the into the ditch and driving along it from there. More experienced drivers might have chosen to straddle that rather than that, but he is on the less steep side of it. If he'd been on the other side, you can see it's much steeper on the other side. So if he hadn't moved over to the left, things could have been a lot worse. And just to show you what I mean by a lot worse, this is an experienced colleague of ours in a Nissan Pajero who chose to go on the other side. So this also happened to him. So you should see here. Yes, he got stuck. He got really stuck, even those huge wheels. In the end, it took over half an hour for other people just to get him out of there. And to be honest, that was the end of his day. So that's what can happen if you get lines wrong. So thanks very much. So are we pleased that we bought the Shogun? I said, as newbies to GreenLane, we've been absolutely delighted in it. It's done everything we've needed to and everything that we feel that we probably would get up to in the UK. things that we felt we did need to do to the car was we gave it a 2-inch lift because the clearance underneath was not very good without that. That 2-inch lift though works really well with the Shoguns because they've got independent suspension, so when you lift them 2 inches it does lift the whole car up 2 inches, whereby a lot of other ones it just lifts the body and not the chassis. So that's a really good strong point of it all. And then after that we put slightly bigger tyres on, which effectively gave it another inch lift, so it's effectively 3 inches taller than the standard, and I would definitely recommend that. It's made a big difference. Clearly we've put underbody armor on there just in case anyway, so that's been put on. So I think that's the other thing. Would I get one again? I would love to have another Shogun, but the only change I'd make if I was doing it again, instead of having a 5-door, I'd get a 3-door. It just means it's a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to maneuver around, and a little bit better on the breakover angle. But I said it's managed to do everything that all the other cars have done, so in the whole we've been really delighted by it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and it's given you some food for thought. So if you've liked it, thanks very much. Bye.